Hi, and welcome to another episode of Piano TV. So today we're going to talk more about rhythm, particularly what the dotted quarter note is and how to count it and all that good stuff. So if you haven't seen some of the previous videos on rhythm, especially the one on how to do eighth notes, I'll link it below. Definitely check that out first as a precursor, just so this all kind of makes sense. So I hope you brought your math brain today, because we're going to have to do some fractional thinking. All right, let's dive in. For the sake of review, let's just take a quick look at all the different rhythms that we've done already. So starting from the largest and working our way down, so we've got the whole note, which is 4 beats. We've got the half note, which is 2, and then I guess this isn't in order, I'm just messing with you now. We have the dotted half note for 3, and then we have the quarter note, squiggle squiggle for 1. And finally, we have our little eighth note friends, which either look like that and they get half a beat, or they're broken off because they have no friends, they're lonely. And it means the exact same thing, it's just, yeah, his stem is just disconnected. So for the dotted quarter note, it gets 1.5 beats, okay? So you can think about it as the quarter note by itself gets 1 beat, and then this dot is kind of like adding another eighth beat to it, but it's easier to just draw a little dot than to draw a little note. And usually this dotted quarter note is finished off by another eighth note, which gets half a beat, so that if you add it up, both of them together end up getting 2 beats. Now let's apply this knowledge in a counting setting. So just for a quick counting review, if you have something like this and a time signature of 4/4, remember that in every bar you're counting up to 4. So this one gets 2 beats, so we count 1, 2. This gets the third and the fourth beat, so 3, 4. And then we start all over because we got that bar line. So here we would go 1, 2, 3, because that's a 3 count, and then 4. Now, if you have a rhythm with eighth notes, you basically do the same thing, except instead of just writing 1, 2, 3, 4, we have to subdivide it a little bit further to account for these half beats. So instead of going just like this, that's the first beat, that's the second beat, that's the third beat, and that's the fourth beat. We have to fill it in with that subdivision. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And same thing when we get over here, this gets 2 beats. So instead of just going 1, 2, we're going to go 1 and 2 and then finish it off 3 and 4 and. Okay, so now we've got a rhythm with our dotted eighth note. In order to count this, first you have to remember how many beats it gets. So you remember that it gets 1.5, right? Good. So to count 1 full beat, we would go 1 and, because that's a quarter note gets 1 and, because that's the full beat right there. Remember, when paired with this eighth note, it ends up equaling 2 beats in total. So this one is actually going to fall on an and. So here's the full 2 beats right there. And since this is an eighth note, it only gets half a beat, right? And this signifies that it gets 1.5 beats, because if you look at this, 3 half beats equals 1.5 normal beats. And just to finish this, and keep going here, so this would be 3 and this would be 4 and. Then over here, 1 and 2 and we do the same thing over here. It gets 1.5 beats. So when you write out the counts, it would be 3 and 4, and then this guy gets and, because that's just worth half a beat. All right, so I'm gonna get the metronome going so you can hear this in action. I'll be doing the dotted quarter note, which is, like I mentioned, worth 1.5 beats, and I'm gonna pair it with an eighth note, which is worth half a beat, just to do that as a pattern so you can kind of hear the sound of that. So the metronome's on at 85. I'm just gonna play a C. This is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It almost sounds a little bit syncopated. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The best way to learning and understanding rhythm and anything really is to just practice. I would highly recommend just finding some music online, printing it off, and just practice writing in the counts and see how that goes. You want to get to a point where it's really natural so that when you see it in your music, you're not just kind of guessing where everything goes and maybe botching the rhythm in the process. It's really good for your brain too. It's kind of like brain math, which is also the same as regular math. You can think of it as like Sudoku, but music. So it actually like applies to your long-term goals and dreams and everything. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to catch you next time in the next video and the next time later. Later.